They reply and they go, it's fixed. And no collab access, never gave them collab access. What he
Nice.
does is he has a CSS Metafield that he can modify to fix something on your site
I
on the
love it.
fly with no collab. Yeah, which I was like, that's so smart. Like, so I just, the dude's a beast.
Oh, it's that guy that needs to be stopped.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy. Hey, what's up? Kalen here. Welcome to episode number 4 of TalkingShop.dev. Actually, we recorded episode number 3 last week, and it was an awesome episode. And then at the end of it, I realized that we forgot to hit the record button. So it was lost. I think that happens probably at least once in the life of every podcast. So it is what it is. But we've got number 4 here today. It was a great episode. And actually, we have a sponsor now, which was super cool. I was very surprised to hear from my buddy Bill Curtis over at Smile.io. And he was like, hey, I heard the podcast and I liked it, want to support it and stuff. So that was awesome. And actually, I worked at Smile.io, used to be called Sweet Tooth Rewards, and it was a Magento extension. That was like my first job, like 10 years ago, getting into e-commerce. Bill was my boss, and I learned everything about Git that I know from him. He's fucking awesome. So I don't even have like the official ad read content yet. We'll get that for the next episode. But, you know, Smile.io is a huge app in the ecosystem. I'm sure that you know about them by now. Obviously a loyalty app. And so we talk a little bit more about that in the episode. So I hope you enjoy the show.
Oh, I'm so excited. We got Topo Chico in our fridge, and I'm downing those suckers.
Oh, yeah. Nice, dude. Dude, is Topo Chico, is that just a water?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not just water. It's imported mineral water
Okay.
with a twist of lime.
Okay. Okay, so it has a twist of lime.
It's got a little bit of essence in there, yeah.
Okay. I don't quite understand. Although, to be honest, I get pretty excited about my little sparkling waters.
Yeah? You're a sparkly water guy?
Oh yeah. I'm a sparkling water guy for sure.
It's nice to have the bubbles.
I remember this one time I hired this personal trainer, and it was my first time meeting with them, and they're like you got to drink just water. You got to drink water, nothing else. And I was drinking a lot of sparkling water at that time, which was good because, you know, I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke and stuff, and I was cleaning up my act. And I asked him, well, is like sparkling water okay? And he just looked at me like funny, and he was like, just drink water. Just drink regular water. And
So
of course,
is that a no?
in the back of my head, it's bugging me because I want to like argue with him about this. But yeah, that was kind of funny.
Personal trainer, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, well, no, it was I only did one thing with him, and then I gave up on it. But
It was the water, wasn't it?
it was the water comment, dude. I
Just
couldn't
wasn't
get
vibing with
past it.
that.
I couldn't get past it. I've had some weird personal trainer scenarios. The very first time I found a guy online, there was like this site for like, you know, finding people and matching with, you know, like service providers. And so then I found the dude, and then he did it at his house, and he had like a setup on his balcony. He had like a balcony with some weights and stuff, and so I
Oh,
go over
nice.
to his house, and like his kid would be staying with him that week or whatever, and so I'd be walking into his house saying hi to his like 7-year-old as I walk onto the balcony. It was super weird, dude.
That is
But
interesting, like an Airbnb
but
for personal trainers.
yeah, that was the beginning of my health journey. Um,
Heck yeah.
so what's the latest with the whole work situation, the whole
Surviving,
Shopify deal? Yeah.
swimming. Keep on swimming, baby. We got holiday coming up in a couple weeks. Trying to jam through some last minute stuff, and code freezes tomorrow. So
Nice. Literally, just as you started talking, in the back of my head, I went, "Are we recording right now?" And then I almost, I almost
hold.
went, I almost went to double check it, and then I remind myself, "No, no, stay present. Don't get distracted. That's why we did the whole thing in the beginning. We're good to go." Nice. So, you do a proper code freeze?
I don't know about proper. It's like,
Yeah.
hey everyone, we're not going to release any more code unless there's something that's really wrong, and then still doing deployments up until the day before. I don't know.
Right.
I think we'll be good. I think no more code unless it's related to this last thing we're jamming through. So yeah, no, not totally proper, but we're not touching the
It's,
cart. So
it's like the ice is frozen, but if we need to drink it, we'll just take a quick sip
that's
of
right.
the ice. Yeah, that's funny. Seems like that's how code freezes go.
How you doing? Anybody got a code freeze for
Oh,
you to
dude.
match up to?
Good Lord, man. I had a brutal client call today. I had a situation that escalated quickly.
Oh,
Um,
sheesh.
yeah, they're kind of an intense. It's like my biggest project I've been working on for a few months, and the um, the end client was on the call, and usually I'm talking with some of the team members client side, but the main boss was on the call, and we were going through some details, and they're like, well, why are we talking about this? They thought that we already talked about this a long time ago, and
Yikes.
and so yeah, and so I'd seen those sort of dynamics with some other people on previous calls, and I was like, look, I don't, I'm not, I don't take this type of stuff. So I sort of was talking back, and, and then we sort of
Yeah.
ended the call. It was crazy, man. It was
You
a
gotta
little
show them who's
rough. So
boss.
well, we'll see. So I may have some availability coming up here pretty soon. We'll see. TBD.
Yeah, some people care a lot, and that's good. But I
Yeah,
feel like even if you care a lot, there's like there's ways that you can go about it. And if you're
yeah,
stressed and you're like making that part of Kaylin's problem, then that's not cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, projects get messy, especially the bigger they are, the tighter the deadlines, the more people, the
Totally.
messier they get. And I gotta stay out of these big projects. The the problem the problem is that the big projects are the ones that have good amounts of hours.
Yeah, pay the
So
bills.
yeah, therein lies the rub.
Do y'all
But
do like retrospectives after? I mean, I know you said it's a big project, so maybe you've been working on it for a while, but I get a ton of value out of doing retrospectives like all the time.
no, no, we don't do any. We don't have time, dude. When you're working through an agency, there's no time for that sounds great. That sounds actually awesome, though. That sounds incredibly healthy. I'm once again jealous and borderline infuriated by the balanced and healthy work environment that you're in, dude.
You know, everything looks great from what is the thing? Grass is always greener.
Yeah, but no, that like how so. So do you basically just you have a project, and then after it launches, do you kind of like have a meeting to talk about it and talk about which things could have gone smoother, or how do you do that?
Yeah, it's pretty formulated. So we started in our team just doing a retrospective after every sprint, so every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we use Miro. I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
seen them. They were advertising for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But we have this gigantic board because we've got the one board so that I don't have another bill to pay every month. But
Right.
yeah, we just have three sections: what went well, what didn't go well, ideas for
Oh,
next
nice.
time. At the top, we have like how many points we did, how many points we rolled over. Still working on getting
Mhm.
to 0 points rolled over, but don't tell anyone that. And then, yeah, we all put our post-its up and talk about it. And then we started doing it
Nice.
for like, we had our private sale about a week ago, and we started doing it for like sales and just bringing everyone together from different teams to talk about what sucked and didn't suck. And it's great, it's
Nice.
super valuable.
So when you say points, you're talking about like story points?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never actually I've been out of the game. I was out of the game for a couple of years, but I never really actually I always hear people making fun of story points, but I've never
Yeah.
actually been involved in that.
No, we make fun of them all the time. At one point, we renamed them to cat points because I think I was explaining them to someone, and I was like, these could be called like they're points, but they could be called anything. It's just a representation of like difficulty, and so we decided to call them cat points for a little while.
Nice. Nice. I went through and I listed out a bunch of tasks I have on this one project, and I created my own little scoring system. I was like, not bad, little rough, um, sort of hard, and then bad. the NetSuite the NetSuite line item sync was bad.
Oh yeah, that's bad
I
right there.
still, I still, it's funny because I posted about it. I got some feedback, including from this dude who's like, he's like an integration agency or something like specifically. And
Hmm.
he's like, yeah, I've done hundreds of these. And I was like, okay, finally I found the guy that's done this. And then I started going into the details a little bit. And I was like, so you actually sync the line items back? And he's like, well, no, NetSuite usually just worries about the financial side of things, and then you have other things in other places. And I was like, okay, all right,
What?
you're not doing this madness.
No, because I guess you're trying to like fulfill out of NetSuite too for this project.
Yeah, yeah,
What's
and
the do you know what the WMS is? Like we use RF Smart, which has like a nice integration with some PDAs that people in the distribution center can walk around and like scan a thing. Because
oh,
that's
that's
like
cool.
not a NetSuite thing, but there's some cool stuff out there for it.
Yeah, I don't know what they use actually on the warehouse side, but I think it all makes its way back into NetSuite. But honestly, it's not that complicated. We have to remove some line items if they get removed, edit some line items, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, as long as they don't need to like edit a line item after it's fulfilled, which I
Yeah.
don't think they would need to, I think we should be fine. It just seems like it doesn't really happen that much.
How are you gonna
People
do
usually
the
just
line items with like some sweet script stuff?
no. I'll probably just pull it down. We're using an iPass deal that just pulls down over SOAP, but which sounds horrible.
Gag.
But it pulls it down. I haven't had to deal. Well, there was one SOAP thing I had to look at the XML for, but basically it just gives you an object with the entire the JSON object with
Hmm.
all the custom fields and everything in there, and then you just work off of that. So I think I'll just like if a line item is suddenly gone from the payload, then that'll mean it got deleted, I think,
Gotcha.
and then we'll just go ahead and delete it. Um, so we'll see. Shouldn't be. It's not rocket science. We're not
It's
landing a
not.
hotel building in
Yeah, it's not
midair,
rocket
anything
science,
like
but
that.
there's always something that you're not thinking about when it's
Yeah,
NetSuite.
yeah. There's always something annoying. I'm so sick of even saying the word NetSuite. In in better news, we dude got a ping from my friend Bill at over at Smile.io, and he
Oh, nice.
he was like hey, I heard the podcast and I really liked it. I was like, cool. And he said that they want a sponsor, and I was kind of blown away.
Cha-ching, baby.
Yeah, dude, I was like, what? Because like we've gotten a little bit of feedback. I was like, that's cool. Seems like it's go in the right direction. But I didn't expect that to happen. But he's like, yeah, I just wanted like this type of a thing where it's just like developers talking about development and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's so cool.
That's
And
cool.
and then I actually told him. So I told him I was like, in the past, I remember having a sponsor like you're always kind of hesitant to say something negative, and I go like for example, I mentioned to David, and then David mentioned that he was, you were looking at Smile.io, decided to go somewhere
Uh-huh.
else, and that I wouldn't want to be hesitant about talking about the negatives, because that's exactly the type of thing
Right.
now I'm curious to know why and all that kind of stuff, and you don't want to avoid talking about it. And he was like, "No, man, that's totally cool. Like, if there was anything critical, I'd love to hear it." Like, it was the perfect response to that I could have like hoped for. So,
Boom.
um,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Let's
So
get to
that was
talking.
yeah. So we're gonna obviously we need to put together a proper financial package. I mean, we want at least something in the tens of millions.
Yeah.
We need
How
something
much airtime are
respectable.
you expecting? We've got like, here are the packages that we formulated for you to choose
Yeah,
from.
yeah, dude. But yeah, so that was cool. And actually, I also got a nice little lead from Smile.io for a little integration with some custom, like a custom points. There's a merchant that has like an NFC tags that are in the product or something like that. Like I guess
Uh-huh.
that's just I don't totally understand what NFC tags. I'm going to be totally honest, but I think it's like a thing that's in the product, and then they scan it. What I don't know what they do, but it generates a URL with a unique code in it, and then we got to
Uh-huh.
tie that into some custom stuff. Do you
That's
know
cool.
what how these NFC tags work?
Uh, yeah, we tried to do something like that. A couple years ago, we had a partnership with Toyota. It was really cool. It was called uh, Kuyana in Motion.
Oh
And
wow.
what they did was try to find a way to make a store that could be fully put onto the back of a truck and like taken somewhere else in the city. It's like so
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
It was around LA for a while, and it was really cool. So one of the cool things that we tried to do with that is like put NFC tags near all of the products. So if someone was in the store and they wanted to like experience some web thing on their phone, and like I actually don't remember exactly what it was supposed to do on their phone, but we had these NFC tags, and it didn't work great. Like everyone's phones respond to NFC tags a little bit differently, and then you've got to have
Mm.
like a miniature app if you wanted to do something like for real.
Hmm.
But these days we have fully embraced QR codes in our retail stores. We use QR codes a lot.
Oh, nice.
That makes things really easy. Like if you if you use something like a URL shortener and then create a QR code from that shortened URL, you
Mm.
can update the destination link like over time if you need to. And so
Right.
that's been working really well. Um,
Nice.
but
That makes
yeah,
sense.
NFC is cool. It's just you know, it's harder than
It's a
QR
little
codes.
it's a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess it's a chip, and then they got it. Like, can you scan it with a phone, or you need a special app to
Yeah,
link it,
it
or?
depends on if you've got an Android or an iPhone. Like iPhones, I think have like you have to have some sort of small app or something, but then there's like a way to get around that. Um, yeah, it's
Gotcha.
just uh, QR codes.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude.
Do
That
QR
that makes
codes.
QR codes are so much more straightforward.
I saw that
Um,
Shopify has released NFC payment for both Android and iPhone on point of sale now. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Is that just where you like double click on the iPhone and it does the wireless payment?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's an NFC thing, and that like apparently it was hard to get that working on Android, and so they've got it working across both now, which is
oh,
pretty
nice.
legit.
I finally started using that, like, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago or something like that. And I don't know why it took me so long. I just now it's my default. I think I didn't have the right
Same.
credit card linked in my thing or something like that. And then I just finally started using it and it's weird like I have this weird emotional issue when I take a credit card and pay. It somehow stresses me out. Like I
Yeah.
think about like that I'm losing money and I'm gonna go bankrupt because I really shouldn't be buying this beef jerky right now. But like somehow with the phone, it just all goes away. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
real or something like
Thanks,
that.
Apple, for buying my beef jerky.
Do
I
you
thought you
have
were
a
going to say
similar
something
thing?
like you were scared about like card skimmers, because I'm definitely scared of like every time I
Oh
go to a
yeah,
gas station and they don't have the NFC tap to pay thing, I'm
yeah,
like, is there anything jiggly on this hole that I'm about to
dude,
stick my card into? So
dude,
that's one reason why I love using Apple Pay is I don't have that anxiety at all.
right.
Um, but also the Apple credit card is pretty cool, and if you pay with Apple Pay, you get like 2% back no matter what it is or something like that. So it's I'm always just like using
Oh, that's
Apple
cool.
Pay.
Nice. I did get one of the Apple cards, and then I didn't really end up because I think we get 3% back on our credit card. So I wanted to use it just because it felt cool to use the Apple credit card. But I was like,
Yeah,
I have one more, thing in my monthly checklist I got to deal with.
right.
So I haven't really been using it. But
No,
I kind of wish I.
like we both started. My wife and I are both using the Apple Card for everything, and then in the app, it shows like how much money did you spend and what are the categories you spent money on, so you don't have to do all of that like afterwards, and it's
Oh,
pretty good.
that's cool.
Um,
That's cool. Yeah. My wife's been using You Need a Budget to
nice.
categorize things.
I tried that. It's too much work.
It really is, dude. I can't stand that app. It's like, and there's so many things that are good. Like, they put them in there for a reason, the way you got to balance things out and shit like
Hmm.
that. But it's just miserable. Like, it's just absolutely horrible. But,
No,
you
I
know,
agree. I would rather like I just need to buy groceries and gas and not think about money at all. That would be the
yeah.
perfect life.
Yeah, dude. I hate thinking about money. I have this one friend that I was talking to, and I was like, man, I basically said that I was like, man, I hate looking at the budget. I hate like just thinking about money. And he's like, I love it. Like he sits down, he has a system, and he actually enjoys looking at the money, dealing with the money, and stuff like that. And I was like, there
Ugh.
is something wrong with me.
Yeah,
But I
I
don't know if
guess me
that's
too.
I don't know if he's unusual in that sense or
No,
what,
I
but
think some people really like it. It's just I don't want to do that. I do have this I had been using Mint for a while, and that was really nice for like tracking uh just how much money you have and stuff like that.
right.
And the like what you're buying. But lately I switched over to something called Kubera. Have I told you about this?
I don't think so.
It's kind of similar in that it has like API integrations with different banks and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but it doesn't get at the transaction level. It's more like um, here's how much you have here, here's how much is in your 401k, here's how much your house is worth. You've paid this much amount on your house, and so this is how much equity you have. And it's kind of
Mm.
set out as like a really sleek spreadsheet.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
So it kind of helps like understanding just over time what's happening to things.
Hmm.
Um, but it's still like hands off. Like I don't want to do anything with this. I just want to come look at it like once
Hmm.
a month or something.
Yeah. Dude, that's one thing with AI that is I cannot wait until they just crack it and because it's like you said, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're pretty good. They're never like quite totally right, but at some point when they are and everything's perfectly categorized and your taxes are filed for you, like
Oh
dude,
yeah, please,
that's gonna be
please
amazing.
take the wheel.
Yeah.
That is one thing I don't mind for some reason. Like I'm fine doing taxes. I've just been using TurboTax
Really?
for
Yeah.
years, and I just like jam through it, answer the questions.
Dude, that's awesome. I can't stand taxes. God, dude, let's get on to another topic, man. Just talking about it is stressing me out. Um, did did you want to talk a little bit about the loyalty thing you were looking at with Smile and the other one? We got to put them to the test to see how comfortable they are with
Oh
the
yeah,
negative critiques.
let's do it. I was thinking I got to pull up my notes. Um, but one of the big things that kind of came down to it was this is so stupid. Uh, so we use Attentive, and Attentive
Right,
is like an SMS sign up thing. You get some promotion for
right,
your first order,
right,
but when you click away from it, it goes down into a bubble at the bottom of the page.
right.
And the big thing with Smile was like everything happens in a bubble at the bottom of the page.
Hmm.
And so didn't want to deal with two bubbles. Was one of the big ones.
Show title.
So yeah.
Dude, I cannot stand I can't remember what it was, but sometimes the chat bubble or some bubble will block. I think it was blocking the Shopify admin bar preview link, when you're doing a preview
Yeah,
theme or something.
yeah,
It was blocking exactly what I didn't want to block. I cannot stand those things so much of the time, I have to
me
say.
too. We got to get rid of these cookie laws too. I'm tired of clicking that button on every
Dude,
single website. It's
it's
somewhere else, like it's somewhere different on every site.
it's horrendous. I never did the cookie thing. Like when it came out and I had commerce here at the time, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a cookie thing up. I didn't do it. I don't have it on my website now. I don't believe in
Skated
it.
by.
It's Yeah, I skated by, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, if you're not doing
It's
like a
not
ton
okay.
of international business, it's apparently not that
Yeah,
big of a deal, but it's
yeah.
still just it's everywhere.
It's gnarly, dude.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we were looking at Smile, and then the other one we were looking at was Loyalty Lion,
Hmm.
and ended up going with Loyalty Lion. One of the reasons was it seemed a lot more flexible. Um, Both of them have an API, and you can do stuff with the API. Um, but the like we always have very custom landing pages, and like they got to be
Hmm.
beautiful and high intentionality and all this stuff. And so we started building the loyalty program and just thinking about how we wanted it to work. And it's not
Hmm.
out yet, so I can't say a lot of stuff. But
Oh, okay. Okay.
it was
Okay.
like basically all of the things that come out of the box with the loyalty program, like buy more, get more. Like the more money you spend, the more points you get.
Right.
We're very like not about that.
You
And
disabled everything.
yeah, so it turns
You're
out
using
we've
like
got like,
one, you're using like one email feature, and that's all.
yeah, no, that's exactly it. We've got one out of the box action, which is referral. You can refer someone to us because that's high intention. Like
Right.
you're bringing more people to our brand, which is like thank you.
Right.
Um, but then we had to come up with like what's a better way to do a loyalty program that's not just the more money you spend, the more points you get, and then that lets you spend more money, and that like so it was kind of an interesting challenge, but we ended up just having one out of the box action, and then all the rest of the actions that get you get you. It's not called Kuyana Clout, but that's what I decided to call it. The more you get more Kuyana Clout by like doing these other special things, and yeah, so then I just had to build the loyalty program from scratch. Kind of. Uh, but it's nice
Nice.
having like there's a back end that tracks all of the points and everything, which comes from Loyalty Line, and then I ended
Nice.
up doing like a bunch of custom API calls to submit the action, and then the action needs to have some cooling period in case someone like returns an order. So
Nice.
you have to submit the action, and then you have to wait, and then you have to either approve or deny it. Um, but yeah, it's all working for the most part, and
Nice.
we'll see how it goes.
That's cool. It's so funny how, especially for bigger companies, like when you use an app or something, like there's just so many customizations that need to be made. I was this other project I'm on. We were talking to rep. Oh, I was going to ask what you use for your page, your landing pages. Do you have
Shopify.com.
Okay, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. So you just use the pages with like
Yeah,
the
we just
theme
use
display.
pages and collections, and we have custom sections and what's the other
Nice,
word called? Snippets. And so we built out a like a library of sections and blocks and what are the
nice,
fields that we want or need, and we that's another one of the things that we talk about like on a weekly basis is like how did this launch go? Because we have like seasonal like big seasonal launches, but then throughout the months there's always like a new product release, a new like new this thing, and it's at least every couple weeks that there's like a big new page that goes out. And so that's one of the things that we talk about is like what would have been better options for trying to build this page.
hmm
And then you
nice.
still have like some wacky like um, completely weird like images are not structured in a way like we spend time making sure that all the images line up well and everything looks good no matter what you do, and then we get a design where it's like actually this time we want the images to be like slightly askew from each other.
hmm
It's like uh so we still have to write some like custom liquid stuff, and then we're like okay, if we have to do that another two times we're going to make a section out of it.
Right, right. Yeah, I kind of wish I was just using native for this project.
Oh yeah, what are
Because
you using?
we're looking at Replo, which is one of the popular landing page builders, and so we get on a call and we need to do this like geolocation stuff where we limit the products that show up on the landing pages by the location they're in or that they selected in a state
Nice.
drop down. And so they're like, oh yeah, we did this thing for this big household name brand website, and it does like geolocation type stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's like super custom, da da da. So like, I was like, cool. Like my client was on the call. Like I think that pretty much sold him. And then I'm like, cool, yeah. Like if I could just see any documentation, on that, and and then they're like, oh, since then we're emailing later, and they're like, yeah, well, we don't have documentation on this because it was like a custom thing, and I'm like, no, like I know you don't have documentation on like that site, but I'm saying like documentate like anything related to how you guys did that. Like how did
Mm-hmm.
you what are the integration points or whatever? And they're like, oh, to be honest, it's really we can't just send you anything because it's kind of a mess or something like that.
Shame.
And I'm just like, dude,
Why was that in the sales
you're
meeting?
you're killing me, man.
Oh, yeah, that's when you start
So
being like, ah, send me the docs. Give me the docs. I'll tell you if it'll work or not. I don't need you to sell me. Just give me all of your information. Thank you. I'll let you know if we're going to give you money or not. Goodbye.
and it's like I'll have clients that want to pull me into these calls, and it's like I haven't looked at the docs. I haven't even created an account yet and clicked around at all. and they want me to just ask a bunch of smart questions or something like that on the call, and I'm like, and I probably there's some people that are better than me at thinking on their feet doing those types of things, but I like to just look at the docs and then
Yeah.
email questions over, and then at some point maybe do a call or whatever. But yeah, I keep getting roped into those types of things.
No, yeah, those are
Um,
I always have fun on those things because I'm like um just like the whole time trying to figure out how they're schmoozing us into like believing like, yeah, this is totally something that we can do super easily. And
right,
they're like, okay, well, here's a question about that.
right.
Send me the freaking docs.
Yeah, you're probably more comfortable because you've been doing it for long enough that uh, you just have fun with it, I guess.
Maybe. I just have like a lot of baggage around being sold something and then I end up not being able to do it and then I have to explain why I can't do it and then it's like
Yeah,
flashbacks. That's what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. And like I figured that like any landing page builder would have a way to pull in a collection of products, some like a dynamic collection of products.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, you can't do that. Like you can pull in a native shop, you can pull in a Shopify section, which is cool. But then I mean, you might as well be doing it in Shopify
Yeah, exactly.
if you're
Did
doing,
you see the new the Metafield settings stuff? I
dude.
forget who it was, but he made a video and that looks like in context or like what is it like the closest collection uh like inference of what that's going to be awesome. I'm excited for
Wait,
that.
wait, wait. I might have missed. I was thinking about the indexing, the Metafield
Oh yeah,
indexing.
I want you to tell me about that too
But
because I have no idea what a Metafield index is.
dude, there's certain there. So you couldn't query. You could only query on tags. So if you needed to search, if you need something to be searchable, you had to stuff it into a tag one way or another. Metafields weren't queryable in the API. You can't filter on a
Oh
Metafield
yeah,
value.
that was like last week that they that someone posted
Yeah,
about that. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
I think that just rolled out, and I was scoping this project for this one client with a bunch of automotive data, and I was like, yeah, Metafields would be great, but we can't filter on them. And then I just saw that, and I was like, has this like? Because there wasn't a timestamp on when it launched. If I was pretty
Yeah.
sure it was new, and there wasn't a change log entry I could find for it. I was like, has this just been around and I just didn't know or something like that? But yeah, I think it just launched like I
Yeah.
don't know, a few days
I
ago or something.
saw do you follow Paul from the Flow team on Twitter?
Dude, Paul, I always forget his last name.
Yeah,
Nushka.
I don't know how to say
He's
that
the
either.
man, dude. He's the best Shopify PM in the game, hands down.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
I saw like a tweet from him slide by the other day that just mentioned that you could do that. I
I
feel
know.
like he's a secret tweeter. He just tweets stuff and then it's real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He just drops nuggets, dude. He just drops nuggets on Twitter. Um,
I
but
need to go
what's
back and
this?
test if it's possible to I was working on a flow the other day where I wanted to use the get variant data action. Um,
Right.
we have variants that have like a release date, and I wanted to be able to get a list of variants that have a release date of tomorrow, and this flow would like run once a day, and
Mm-hmm.
then do a bunch of like Matrixify we use a ton, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to change the channels that a product is part of.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a couple other things. So I wanted to do something around the launch date, but it's not possible to query product variants based on a metafield. So I have to go back and see if that's got snuck
Exactly.
in too.
That's a good question because I didn't look at that. I just looked at the products, and I definitely looked at like order and customer metafields. Those are not indexable yet.
Mm,
But that's exactly the type of use case that all of a sudden you can bang out in Flow if
yeah,
they're searchable. There's so many. I mean, I can't remember all the times I had some use case around searching metafields, but What was the what was the Metafield with the nearest collection video deal?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I might have bookmarked that. Um, One of the PMs at Shopify released a video that showed how it's like some new updates to the theme editor,
Mm-hmm.
where it can intuit um, like it's never been a great integration between theme editor and metafields, just like shop metafields or like a meta object that's got um, fields on it. You can never really pull those in well. Well, this lets you like select from meta objects that exist in the store, and then it'll start selecting like if you set it up correctly. And I haven't been able to do it yet. I don't even know if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it will pre-populate all of the values. Like you know how when you click that little what is it? It's like a pancake.
Yeah.
It's like three circles on top of each
Yeah.
other. That thing like
Yeah.
always kind of worked, and this seems like it actually works. So you can go in and click things, and it'll
Oh.
work. And then there's like a new setting for sections where you can indicate that it's like a metafield list or a meta object list, and then you can create a meta object that's got like name, details, whatever, and it'll just pull in all the fields from that meta object into the block.
Oh, cool.
Uh, but some of them are like you can configure at the top level for this section what collection we want to use as like the data source. And then
Okay,
underneath
makes
that, there
sense. Yeah.
are blocks, and the blocks, I think I'm talking about this right. It's been a while since I watched the video. You can configure the blocks to pull data from the metafields of the collection that's like one level up. So you set a collection at the section level, each block like automatically inherits that collection being its context, and it'll just automatically pull all of the data in. It looks awesome. I haven't been able to try it yet, so I don't fully understand it, but it sounds cool.
I gotta check that video out. That's one of those things that's like exponentially hard to understand
Yeah.
without a without a visual.
No,
But
I
I
was
I
listening to
think
myself
I
explain it, and I was like, I'm
I
not doing a good job right now.
but I think I actually get it. I just gotta look at it. But yeah, dude, meta objects are just gonna keep getting so good in meta fields. It's like I had a nice little use case. Oh, and
It's our destiny.
so our last episode I forgot to hit record on, and and one of the things I think I talked about, I gotta just say again briefly, and you can pretend that it's all brand new news to you. I think we talked about the deal with I want to do a form for somebody to fill out as a customer. Don't want to use the native form functionality because it overwrites the customer record, whether they're logged
Yeah,
in or not, right? So if they use an email of an existing customer, it'll just overwrite that customer with the data they enter. So
no
what
bueno.
I'm going to do instead is have a little hydrogen endpoint that the form can post to, and then that will create a meta object for the form entry. Now I can use Flow's new meta object trigger, and then in Flow I can then say, hey, if this customer already exists, maybe I don't override it, or maybe I do something else. If the customer doesn't exist, go ahead and create the customer record like you normally would. It's a
Nice.
nice little finesse use case
And
there.
that's a hydrogen thing? What's it like working with that?
Well, hydrogen, dude, it's just a nice way to do like a little API endpoint. If there's anything that's really all I've used it for. I've used it like twice in that scenario because it just gives you a back end where you can do arbitrary API calls and you can proxy them from the front end. So
Interesting.
yeah, so you set it up, you set up Hydrogen, it gives you a URL, and it's a remix app, and by default, it's a whole headless store. But then you can just do, and each route is like a JSX file, and then
Okay.
you can just return JSON, and then it just returns JSON like an API, which is really what I've used it for these last couple times. And then you can just do whatever admin API calls you want inside of that, and you can hit it from the front end in a way that you know is secure.
That sounds dangerous.
It's kind of cool.
Danger's cool. So can
It's
you
kind of
set up
awesome.
a hydrogen backend for an existing store, or is it like technically
Yep.
a different store?
Nope. Nope. It's an existing store. You get one, I think you get one for free, I think on any plan. I don't even think it's plus only. And you just get a unique URL, and then you get an auto-generated URL, and they're running on Cloudflare. You'd be happy with
All
that.
right. Why not just use Cloudflare? This sounds cool though. I got to check it out.
Yeah. If there's ever any back end stuff you need to do, it's a really nice little way to do that.
Yeah, and it's like built into Shopify.
Right.
Does it follow the same domain for the store and then like the rest of the URL is custom or what's that like?
No, it's like a crazy domain. It's like some crazy
Okay,
auto generated. But I think you can override with a
fine.
custom domain. But so you would normally just use a Cloudflare worker for that type of thing if you needed to create an endpoint and do some backend stuff. Is that how you would do it?
Um, I haven't had to do that for Kuyana, but I did make a stupid side project and I just did it all in Cloudflare and that like it sounds a lot like the way Cloudflare's
Yeah.
um, workers operate,
Nice.
which I guess it just
Nice.
is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Is it easy to sign up for? I've always heard this hydrogen thing, and I'm like, okay,
Dude,
headless,
I
not
know.
what I'm doing.
I know, dude. I had the same thing, and I just went. There's an app. It has eight reviews.
3.5 stars.
and you just you just install it. You click a button. It gives you a URL. It gives you the command line things to run. Like you literally copy and paste it, and it
Cool.
even it'll create the repository for you. If your GitHub is auth or whatever, it'll create the
Wow.
repository. It'll give you a thing to paste into your terminal. You paste it. It installs all the packages, runs the local thing. You hit localhost 3000, and it's up and running.
Oh,
And then
thanks for letting me be dumb, Shopify. I
yeah,
love it.
I know it's like because I don't I don't it's not like I have a lot of experience deploying that kind of stuff, but it was like surprisingly easy to get up and running.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then you just if you push to master, it pulls it in, it deploys it. One thing I hadn't realized on
Mm.
the first one I did is I was trying to see some logs in production because something wasn't working and I wanted to see some logs. And then when you click in there, the first thing you see are these log drains, which allows you to connect to a third-party service to send the logs to. So I like created a Datadog account and I connected it up. It was a little bit annoying. And then this time around, I was about to do that, but I checked with the client first because I was like, I think they have a New Relic account. Let me use that instead, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And then I posted about it and I was like, how is there not an easier way to just see logs? And
Hmm.
turns out there is. I was clicking in the wrong place.
You got to click a checkbox over here. You're doing like the custom hard way.
Yeah, dude. There wasn't even a checkbox. It was just there. I just did it. You got to click on there's like storefront settings, which takes you into that log drain stuff. But if you just click on the deployments, like it shows you a list of every deployment, just like GitHub
Oh, okay.
actions or whatever. And you just click into the latest deployment, the latest live deployment, and the logs are right in there. So
Boom. I got to
that's
cook
good.
something up with this. Also,
Yeah,
I
man.
really like the name Log Drain. That sounds
Yeah,
interesting. It's like a
yeah,
some sort of hack.
yeah. It sounds like something crazy's happening.
Heartbleed, Log Drain,
Oh God, Heartbleed, man, that's been a hot minute,
Mage Cart.
dude. It's been a while. We keep sneaking Magento into every single conversation. It's hard. It's like we can't avoid it.
You
Um,
know, you got to remember where you came from.
yeah. I was thinking about I was thinking about this because I'll try to find I'll be working on some new project and I'm like, okay, where the hell is the snippet that I got to find to fix whatever the hell is
Oh
wrong
yeah.
on this page. And so inevitably I'm searching for, so I'm inspecting, okay, here's a class that looks unique. I'll search the code base, blah, 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 trial and error. And I was like, dude, like it'd be cool if there was a theme inspector like Magento used to have.
Hmm.
And I asked about that. It doesn't really exist. There's this one Chrome extension that like does profiling, and it itemizes the all the different snippets in like a timeline profile view, which I think is the
Yeah.
closest thing to it. I don't even know if it's possible with the rendering engine to like introspect it and do a theme inspector. I don't even know if that's like possible to
Yeah,
do.
you would
But
have to have like Shopify would have to be the one that does it, I guess, because it's part of the Ruby
right,
situation they got going on. But yeah, I've seen that too in Chrome DevTools. There's like a Shopify tab where you can see how long
right.
each block takes to render and stuff like that. Maybe that's helpful. But also, um, how many sections and snippets does this project have? 'Cause
Oh God, dude.
it's like usually I can find my way around stuff pretty quickly just in VS Code, like doing a search for a class, like you said, and then um, going up the render call chain or whatever. But
Yeah,
maybe
I
I'm
know,
just
dude.
being
It's because you got a sane code base you're working out of, dude. You're not
yeah.
working on every fucking random third party garbage theme that comes your way because you got to feed your kids.
Uh, I gotta count my blessings here, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta let me know when a job opens up over there, dude. Jeez.
Gotta sell those totes. Gotta sell way more totes.
You better push those totes, dude. You gotta push those loyalty points on those totes.
No points. Remember,
Yeah.
there are no points. Only clout.
No,
Beyond
it makes
clout.
sense. There's too many of these point systems. I'm never really into them. Like,
Yeah, me either. When I
yeah,
started hearing about this project, I was like, yeah, like, but we're doing points. But no, we're not doing points. So I'm actually really happy about it.
yeah. This one guy I follow on Twitter, Phil something. He's been posting like he's like a email marketing dude, but he's been posting like app ideas that have been pretty interesting. And
Hmm.
one thing he posted recently is he's like, hey, everybody's building Shopify apps, but Klaviyo is this huge ecosystem on its own. And he was talking about the idea of building Klaviyo apps for certain types of things. And he listed a couple of them out. And one of them was a refer a friend thing. And he said exactly the same thing. Like nobody wants another loyalty program.
Hmm.
Just do a refer a friend and build it like somehow natively into Klaviyo, which I don't even know what that means exactly to build something as a Klaviyo app,
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that there were Klaviyo apps either, but I guess it makes sense.
yeah.
But then, like, how many people use Klaviyo? I've heard a lot of like we use Klaviyo, but
Who
it's
even
actually
uses
pretty sweet.
Klaviyo? Oh yeah, we do.
We do, but like overall, how many people use Klaviyo? It's probably
Oh,
too
it's massive.
expensive for a lot of merchants. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but yeah, I bet
I
that's
mean,
possible, especially
my
with it
impression
just
is
being a
it's
referral.
massive. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I remember like, God, it must have been 8, 10 years ago. Last time I was in house with a brand, and they had the same thing. They were like, we don't need a loyalty program. We wanted just a nice referral program.
Hmm.
And I was surprised that that's kind of the same situation today.
Take the best bit from the loyalty program and do that thing.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean it's Shopify's got good enough promo engine to, and like an API to the promo engine, so it's really cool the the kinds of apps that you can integrate with Shopify that do promo things is pretty wide. But then you got to make sure that they're not doing weird shit like creating a new top level promo for every referral. So now you've got like a bazillion
Oh,
promos in
right.
your promo list.
Yep. Yep. I've seen that one. I've seen that one a time or two.
We had an app that created like 13,000 single use codes in our discounts. And I was like, hey, what's going on with these codes? And they're like, oh, that's a bug. We got to fix that.
Oh, the app developer said it was a bug?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's funny, dude. Okay, I got to give out of app of the week.
Shalala.
Shout out app of the week. Platmart Swatches,
Oh,
which was a color. So I needed to do color swatches for this one client, and I was looking at. They have products that have different colors, right? Not using
mm-hmm,
variants for colors, and so they wanted to link them together with a swatch. And so I was looking at combined listings initially because I was like, I
mm-hmm.
think that's what combined listings are for, and it was just super. I don't know if you've touched those. I didn't. I
I
didn't get
have.
it. It's
We
like,
did not use it.
okay, so there you go. It's a mess, right? Like, I don't get it.
I wish we could use it.
Yeah, it seems like exactly what people have been asking for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it works. I'm sure if you set it up right, it works. I don't know, but so then somebody mentioned this app. Dude's name is Kirill, the founder, and he's on Twitter, and I think he's been doing apps forever. And anyway, so it just works. It just works. It works perfectly. It's like the interface in the app is clean. It's what we were talking about the other week, which may or
I
may
love
not have
that.
been deleted. Maybe the podcast that never was. I can't remember.
That
But
was
it
just a
just
good
like,
conversation.
yeah, it was so good. And anyways, it just works. There was like one thing issue where like the the color swatch was like showing in this one product grid where I didn't want it to show because it was like a recommended products grid that was showing on the product page, and
Hmm.
I asked them about it, and I'm expecting they're going to say like, oh, here's the configuration option, or here's what you got to do in Liquid, or da 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 da. Nope, they reply and they go, it's fixed. And what no collab access, never gave them collab access. What he
Nice.
does is he has a CSS Metafield that he can modify to fix something on your site
I
on the
love it.
fly with no collab. Yeah, which I was like, that's so smart. Like, um, and anyway, I just dude's a beast.
Oh, it's that guy that needs to be stopped.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy. Because the thing that I saw there is he's building some other thing that was some fancy
Yeah, like size chart
table.
thing.
Yeah, some crazy cool looking thing in Polaris, and I was like, the guy needs to be stopped. This is getting this is getting out of hand, dude. This is
That's
getting out of
cool. I got to
control.
see what apps they got. I
Yeah,
love it. I love hearing about like stuff, like good stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's always fun
That's
hearing about
cool. I got to check out that
solid
Swatch
app.
app. We've just been doing some like CSS for our swatches,
Yeah,
and it's weird.
yeah.
But we
Well,
have
I
a
was
similar
thinking
problem
it.
where we're like trying to
Yeah.
combine, like when we have, it's so dumb. In NetSuite, our products with different materials have to have different SKUs. And so they like will have two or three different versions of the same product in Shopify. One is like Croco and one's regular pebbled leather. And we link
Mm-hmm.
them together on the PDP. But I would love it if there was a solution to just add Croco as another swatch on another product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's how it works. You create groups, And I think you can create arbitrary groups. I don't know how it would work if you were commingling different groups. I hadn't quite thought about that. Because in my case, it was just like well, each product just links to its different colors within that one product.
Gotcha.
And I'm pretty sure it uses Metafields and everything. It's all Metafields, I think. Um, Although I was thinking more about it, and it might not be that complicated to just do it with Metafields and in Liquid. Like it might be
The
pretty
swatches.
simple to do. Yeah, I mean, couldn't you just do add a Metafield list on a product? Oh, well, then you'd have to add it on all the products, which you wouldn't want to do. That'd be messy.
Hmm.
Or that'd be,
Yeah, that's how our option links work. You have to add it on
oh,
each one of the products, like create an option group.
okay.
It gets weird.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, we'll have to scope that out at some point.
Yeah, well, that'll be a large. Uh, what was the worst one? That's a big job. I don't remember what
Oh,
was your rating
bad,
system? Yeah.
bad. The worst, the worst one was bad. um, Dude, so have you seen the new forums, the new discourse
Oh
forums?
yeah, I've spammed them already. I
Nice,
got some great answers. Like you
dude.
said, they must get some bennies from answering questions. Whoever
They're
gets
on
in there
top
and
of it,
gets marked
right?
a solution. Yeah.
I know. It's it's funny because I talked to Liam. He talked to me about them as they were getting ready to launch them, and he mentioned them. And he's like, yeah. So like, what do you think? And at the time, I was like, dude, to be honest, because at the time I was doing a lot of stuff on the forums. I haven't been on the forums for a hot minute, but I was
Hmm.
replying to the forums all the time as kind of like a lead generation thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a system down for doing it. I've been building up, not point, but like reputation by answering questions and getting solutions and blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
And so what he asked me about, I was like, to be honest, like, I'd rather not have another system to deal with and like, and I'm kind of mostly wanting like to be in front of merchants, to get leads as I'm
Mm.
responding to stuff. So I was like, to be honest, like I don't really want like some other forum to deal with. But now that it's launched, and I'm just selfishly using it to get questions answered, and they're getting
Yeah.
answered so fast. I'm like, dude, this is amazing.
This is
I'm so
great.
glad. I'm so glad they did this, because like on the other forums, like this is why I'm saying Paul Nooch is like the man, because he replies to so many flow questions on the forums. And I think like having PMs that are responsive on forums and stuff is like so huge, and it seems to be sort of rare. um,
Totally.
but like,
No, it's
yeah, I
great.
think
He's answered a couple of my questions already on there, and
nice.
like one of them was an annoying like Flow should have this feature, and he was just like, I agree, but we have a roadmap. So it's like, cool solution. Thank you, sir, for your eyes on this.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's specific to Flow. I know that every time a new feature is announced, you get a lot of people complain, like asking, "Well, what about this and what about that?"
Right.
Like, there's no like celebration of the feature. It's just
I know.
immediately, and we need this, and we need this. But I feel like somehow with Flow, like every time there's an announcement that I'm kind of excited about, I feel like it's nothing but like, and we need this too. Like,
Yeah. No,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
bad. But it's the Shopify way to like get something out there and then see how it gets used and then validate
Yeah,
what it is people actually need.
yeah, yeah. It's funny.
No, the
But
forums have
yeah,
been
dude.
great so far.
Yeah, dude. No, it's great. And it's just so much nicer to use, compared to those fucking clunky ass
It's dark
forums.
theme.
Oh, are you in the dark theme? I didn't check out the dark
Oh
theme yet.
yeah. There's a dark theme button. Gotta click that button.
Are you one of these dark theme guys? It's like, It's like you got it's everything dark themes. It's like
You've
a
seen my
lifestyle
camera
for
on
you.
before, right? I'm in like a freaking cave over here with like one purple light.
Right.
I'm the palest person in the whole world. Got to have that dark theme.
Nice. I have dark theme on my on Visual Studio, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, I like the white background, even though it's probably causing my
Ugh.
eyes to bleed out. Um,
No big deal.
no big deal.
Got to
I'm
keep it
blind in one
casual.
eye. No big deal.
No dark mode for me. Is Riverside in dark mode for you right now?
Oh yeah, Riverside. Yeah, I guess. But but I never think of that as dark mode. I just think of that as Riverside's like um,
Your
look,
vibe.
like cause like
I
even the
like it. Black
homepage,
and
like
purple.
yeah, it's like everything is dark. Oh, dude, what do you guys use for search?
Search and discovery app.
No, okay, nice.
It's fine. That's one of the things that I think we need to spend time on next year, though, is uh, putting some love into that. We just have like some small amount of boosting and like keyword
Hmm.
help
Right.
and stuff like that. But one of the things I really dislike is all of our products come in from NetSuite with black as the first option. So that's the default.
Hmm.
And every time you do a search, the default color is the one that comes up if you don't include a color in your search term. And so it just shows up with all black results. And I would love for there to be some more variation there, like some way to set face out values. That's probably what we'll end up doing is creating a default face out Metafield on
Hmm.
products and then use that in search results.
Mm. And just display that in Liquid. Just pull that Metafield.
Yeah, the hard thing is though that you don't necessarily know if they search for a particular color in the liquid, so I have to figure that out.
Oh, right. Yeah, that seems complicated. Um, yeah, I
It'll be
haven't
fine.
really. Yeah, I'll be fine. I haven't really like done. It's not like I've deployed search for a bunch of clients or anything, but I'll see questions about like little gaps that need to be filled, like what you're talking about, and so that was always my impression was that like bigger stores tend to use some kind of third-party search, and the native one was pretty limited. But I.
It is limited, but it's got some good stuff. Like it's got the basic like it also helps you define filters. So if you're on a
Mm-hmm.
collection page and you're putting filters in there like a color filter,
Mm-hmm.
there's functionality for creating color families, which
Mm-hmm.
is usually like one of the things that doesn't exist in a base search or filtering mechanism in these stores.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely have 500 different blues or whatever, and so it has the ability, and it's also pretty smart to like kind of guess what color this thing should be if it's not in a color group yet. It
Okay,
works.
that's cool.